We trust and believe in Camp Catalia Chasatanga. I knew that she was in good hands from day one when we dropped her off. We got to meet the counselors and we got to meet the staff.
I can immediately see a change in her, just a confidence level. I just had a peace because I knew how much that y'all loved on her and how much she was growing and things that I couldn't just provide to her at home. I mean, the experiences here are just, they're once in a lifetime. The friendships, are once in a lifetime.
Michael and I were both counselors here at the camps when we were in college, and I'll never forget whenever we had the parent day for one of the sessions, I had a mom come up to me and she burst into tears when I told her that I was her daughter's counselor, and she said, "I don't know what you guys did to my daughter, but she's not the same kid that I dropped off here. She's confident, she's happy, she's playing with her friends, she's nice to me." You don't know what to say to parents at that time when you're a counselor, but when you are a parent, now that I'm a parent, I get it.
What is cultivated in them in just a short amount of time, in only 3 weeks, it allows their interior to grow in such a way that when they leave here, they're stronger and they can take on the world and they can take on the challenges of the world.
The people who are coming through the gates of camp are here with a servant's heart and the gift of insight into each child. They really, truly are looking at each kid and saying, how can we pull out the gold in this? Because each of us is so flawed in so many ways, and each of us has such beautiful gifts. And so to be able to know that they're looking for those things in my child and being able to call them higher in a way that as a parent, I'd love to be able to do, but as a parent, I'll never be heard the same way.
When you send your child to camp, you're entrusting the people that you know, that you can trust, who are going to reinforce the values you give them at home and help them to grow with those values. And they'll grow because now those values will become their own. They'll suddenly make that their own, and that's what I've seen. So it's no longer parents saying you should or you shouldn't, or your faith or whatever it is. It becomes part of who they are. And so they become a young man or a young woman of God, and they take that with them. It's something they carry into their everyday lives and into the future.
When we send our kids to camp, we don't have to worry about it because we were a part of this, and we know that they're just all about building confidence and friendships and with each other. And to watch our kids want to write or talk to other campers that they met here at camp it's really neat to get to witness that.
We really wanted them to establish more of an independence away from our family, but also have really great role models and mentors. I remembered as a counselor how much we're just trying to constantly find the gold in the kids and trying to bring out the best and bring them out of their comfort zone and push them in a loving way into uncomfortable things at times. And that's really just what we wanted for our kids, was for a safe place for them to be able to explore in a new way, and especially in nature.
The thing they feel right here is freedom. It's freedom. Freedom just to be who they are. I think that's the best thing I can say. They get to be the freedom to be who they are and who God created them to be.
They just need to play. They need to unplug and be in a safe place with people who get them and let them be themselves and draw that out.
There are no electronics, so the kids are encouraged to interact with other children on the personal level, on the I'm a 7-year-old, you're a 7-year-old, I'm a 12-year-old, you're a 12-year-old. How do we mesh together? Who you pretend to be in the real world is taken away, and your child is allowed to grow in a supportive environment without the influences of the outside world coming in and trying to tell them who they should be. They get to decide who they're going to be.
And just really giving them that space where that's the expectation, is that there isn't this attachment to electronics. It's really like being able to be face-to-face with another person and not having to be on a device, and being able to really cultivate those kinds of friendships. And when you do things together, when you do hard things together and challenges especially, you grow in relationship with one another. And so having each other in their cabins as well, making friends that way, going on trips, challenging themselves with other people, I feel like that just gives them such friendships. And that's what I've seen really so far in the girls, the couple summers that they've been.
Sometimes it takes a little adjustment, but by the end of the camp session, they don't want to go home. They've had so much fun, they've learned so much, especially with all these different activities. They have different levels that you can progress in. So it gives the campers something to work towards, and the counselors help them plan out their day. So it's not somebody constantly telling them what to do, it's them kind of taking ownership of their day, their schedule, and the tasks that they want to complete and progress in.
I pick him up and he says, "Mom," he goes, "I need to go back."
I want to be a better man. And that was everything. Like, how do you go from, I don't want to be there, to being a better man? And in a span of a very short, like 26 days. And so that solidified for me that, you know, the investment, the time, the energy, all the sacrifices we make to get him here, you know, has immense value in who they are and their age.
Driving back up to get them and knowing that, like, they've been so loved and so cared for and seen in like the deepest, most beautiful way.
And the counselor letters, they were so sincere, so beautifully written. I felt so much peace that they really knew my daughter and were getting to know not just her personality, but her soul and what makes her who she is. So I so appreciated that.
Extending grace to people where they need it, calling people higher where they need it. Those gifts are so built into our staff that it's almost impossible for them not to bring it out in the kids. It's truly the most impactful thing I think I can give my kids is a community of people who love them as deeply and as authentically as I would want them to be loved out in the world.
There are some things that as parents you see in your kids and you want to teach them the virtue or the way to navigate it, and you know what it is, but you're not the right person to teach them that. As many times as you can try to teach that lesson, they need to hear it from somebody else. I'll never forget the first summer that our oldest Gabe came as a little guy, and he really struggled with kind of giving up quickly when something was hard. And one of the first things he did when he came home, when he was telling us all about camp, was he said, "You know what I learned this summer, Mom? I learned that I can't just give up when something is hard. I need to keep trying, even if I have to try more than one time after that, and I'll usually get it." And Mike and I were like, what? It was worth it for that one lesson that year, but what a blessing that was for him.
It's probably the best thing as a mom I have ever done for my daughter, to have women who are not me echoing the same things that I would say to her, the person that I see in her, who I want her to be, who I want her to surround herself with. It's so much more impactful to come from people that she truly idolizes in all the best ways.
It's incredible. It's a game changer. For our family, it's been a life changer.
There's no greater investment in time than sending your kid to a place where they will grow to be better young men and women. And when they look back, and when you look back as a parent, you'll be grateful for the things that they learn and the people that they become.
And if you're looking for people to love your kids the way God made them, the way we know that they can be, camp is like a polishing rag for gems. Like, we come in, we are dirty, broken, and camp gets everyone here to sparkle. The people here just see all of that beauty, and they see beyond the roughness, and they see beyond the imperfections, and they love all of that as a whole. I don't think that the precious time I have with my kids is worth giving up unless it's something so much better than what I can give. And I could never give this. I could never give this much grace and love to my kids. No matter how much our family and my husband and I love them, I'll never be able to replace that.
I'm thankful to be here, and I encourage anybody, send your kids to camp.